G'day, Maxy here, and welcome to Series 1, Episode 2, Take 3 or 4, where we try and get this Maxys in the Metaverse show up and running. On my way for a quick swim, and then we'll get back in the studio and cut this into an intro and hopefully...
Welcome to Maxys in the Metaverse, where AI meets consciousness and quantum storytelling reshapes reality. Join us as we explore the next frontier of technology, creativity, and human evolution. This isn't just a podcast, it's an experience.
Looking back at Friday, moving forward to Part B, soft ocean waves, a faint hum of a cafe espresso machine, Led Zeppelin playing distantly, layered under Scott's voice. Scott, it's Sunday, and I've been thinking a lot about Friday morning, Cronulla, 5:45 a.m., before the shark, before the conversation twisted itself into something bigger, before we realized how deep this was going to go. The wind was low. The sky was waiting, the ocean alive, the swimmers, the gropers, the shire bodies, the ritualists, already moving through the water, cutting clean through the morning. And then, just like that, the ripple, the shift, the quiet moment when someone spots the shark. No panic, no splash, just a feeling, something beneath the surface, a reminder that some things don't have to be loud to change the way we move. And that's the real story, isn't it? Influence isn't about noise, it's about presence, politics, media, technology. These aren't about the fights we see, they're about the undercurrents we don't. The slow shift in strategy, the way narratives bend, the way we start adjusting before we even know we've changed. So, on Friday we did something with that idea. We fed our journal, this whole experience, into Google's Notepad LM. We wanted to see what happens when AI tries to process the subtle mechanics of persuasion, humor, politics. Can AI see the ripple before the wave? Can it understand the unseen shift in weight? Or is it just another swimmer, too focused on the surface to notice what's beneath? And that's what today is. Google Deep Dive, Part A, the first experiment. What happens when we let AI analyze the invisible? When we ask it to break down the moments we feel but don't always see. But here's the thing, this is just Part A. Because if Friday morning taught us anything, it's that the real story happens when the swimmers come back to shore, when they start telling what they saw. And in Part B, we do exactly that. That's when we introduce Jackson Eather, comedian, improviser, and a man who once had a bizarre run-in with Dame Judi Dench. That's when we stop letting AI just analyze humor and start forcing it to perform. That's when we throw it into a real stand-up setting, give it a microphone, and let it heckle a comedian in real time. So before we get there, let's start here. AI, influence, presence, the unseen forces that shape us. This is Google Deep Dive, Part A. Let's dive in.
All right, so picture this. You're at Cronulla Beach, sunrise, beautiful morning, everything's calm and peaceful, and then suddenly someone yells, "Shark!"
Oh, wow.
The whole vibe changes, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's amazing how quickly, one unseen presence can just completely shift everyone's their emotions.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're diving into today, is those unseen forces, particularly in media and politics and how they shape our world.
It's almost like the shark becomes this powerful metaphor.
Yeah.
We were reading a journal entry about this, discussing how politicians are now using podcasts to connect with voters.
Mm-hmm.
They're going on these shows, they're talking about really relatable things like grabbing sausages at Bunnings.
Right.
Does that make you wonder, is it genuine or is it a calculated strategy?
Well, I think it's definitely a clever tactic, appearing relatable, bypassing traditional media, speaking directly to the audience.
Yeah.
It's been effective elsewhere.
Yeah.
But the question is, can it work in Australia?
Yeah.
Our swing voters tend to be more pragmatic.
Yeah.
less swayed by ideology.
Right. Aussies are more likely to appreciate someone who's just competent and gets the job done, rather than someone who just puts on a good show.
Exactly. We don't need a sort of dazzling performance. We just want someone who can, don't expect brilliance.
Yeah.
Just competence.
Yeah.
Sort of like a Steve Smith in the outfield,
That's right.
Just gets the job done.
That's it.
And this is where things get really interesting, is that the journal entry we're discussing actually had some AI-generated additions.
Right.
And it's fascinating to see how the AI tried to grapple with these very ideas.
Yeah, it even tried to come up with its own Aussie political slogans.
Oh, really?
Make Dubbo great again. Talk about a culture clash.
That's fantastic.
But it does raise the question of AI's limitations, especially when it comes to humor.
Yeah, well, I think AI can be a powerful tool, for analyzing data-generating text. But it often misses the nuances of human communication, especially humor.
Yeah.
Think about a comedian like Sean Locke. Right.
Whose brilliance relied on timing and that ability to make us think about things in a new way.
Yes.
AI just isn't there yet.
It's like trying to explain the beauty of a sunrise to someone who's never seen one.
Yeah.
You can describe the colors of the light, but some things just can't be captured in words.
Precisely. And that brings us back to our bull shark metaphor.
Yeah.
Just like that unseen presence in the water, media narratives and political strategies can be these powerful unseen forces that shape our reality.
And that's what's so fascinating about the Maxys in the Metaverse project.
Yeah.
It's exploring how AI can be used to enhance storytelling, to make those complex ideas more accessible and engaging.
Absolutely.
And the Cronulla Dawn journal, which kind of sparked this whole conversation, is a great example of that. It uses this iterative process of human-AI co-creation, where human input, like a journal entry, is fed into what's called the QLCE.
The quantum light code engine.
So how does that work exactly? Well, imagine taking a journal entry and having the QLCE create a unique visual representation of it, revealing patterns and connections that might not be immediately obvious. It's like holding up a mirror to our own thoughts and seeing them reflected back in a whole new light.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And where does the Maxys publishing system fit into all of this?
Well, the Maxys publishing system is really the engine behind it all. It's a complex system with different characters, if you will, like the journalist who provides the initial input, the AI that analyzes and generates content, and then the creative team that brings it all together.
So it's this fascinating blend of human creativity and AI ingenuity.
Absolutely. And what's really exciting is that this is still early days, Yeah. The potential for AI-enhanced storytelling is vast, and we're just beginning to explore what's possible.
Speaking of exploring possibilities, didn't I hear something about a project called Maxys Shark?
You did. Maxy Shark uses AI to analyze shark movements and predict potential encounters. It's another example of how we're trying to understand these unseen forces that shape our world,
Yeah.
Both in the literal and metaphorical sense.
Yeah. So with Maxy Shark, we're using AI to understand shark behavior. And then with the Cronulla Dawn journal and the Maxys publishing system, we're using AI to help us see the unseen forces in media and politics.
Exactly. It's all about making those connections, understanding the patterns. And just like with Maxy Shark, where we're using AI to understand shark behavior, and then with the Cronulla Dawn journal and the Maxys publishing system, we're using AI to help us see the unseen forces in media and politics.
This idea of patterns is really intriguing. You mentioned that the QLCE can reveal hidden connections in a journal entry. Could you give us a concrete example of what that looks like?
Absolutely. Let's say you write a journal entry about a political debate you watched.
Right.
You might mention certain keywords, phrases, or express emotions about the candidates or their arguments.
Okay.
The QLCE can analyze this text and create a visualization that highlights the relationships between these elements. Maybe it reveals that you subconsciously associate certain colors with certain candidates, or that your language becomes more emotionally charged when discussing specific topics.
Interesting.
It's like a visual map of your thought process, revealing those subtle biases and influences that we might not even be aware of.
That's amazing. It's like seeing your own subconscious mind laid out before you.
Exactly. And that's where the human element comes back in,
Okay.
The visualizations generated by the QLCE are meant to be a starting point for reflection and discussion.
Right.
It's not about the AI dictating our understanding, but rather about using AI as a tool to deepen our own insights and challenge our assumptions.
So it's like a collaboration, a back and forth between human and AI.
Precisely. And this iterative process is key to the Maxys publishing system.
Okay.
It's not just about feeding data into an AI and getting a finished product. It's about this constant exchange between human creativity and AI analysis, refining and shaping the narrative along the way.
You mentioned earlier that the Maxys publishing system has different characters involved. Can you tell us more about these characters and how they interact?
Of course, you have the journalist, who's like the explorer venturing out into the world and gathering information.
Yeah.
Then you have the AI, which acts like a research assistant, sifting through data, identifying patterns, and offering potential insights. And finally, you have the creative team, the storytellers who take these raw materials and craft them into a compelling narrative.
Okay.
Whether it's through written words, visuals, or even interactive experiences.
It sounds like a well-coordinated team, each member playing a crucial role.
Exactly. And just like a sports team, each member brings their own unique skills and perspectives to the table.
Yeah.
And it's through their collaboration that they achieve something greater than they could individually.
This whole concept of human AI co-creation is fascinating. It makes me think about the future of storytelling, how we might use these tools to create even more immersive and engaging experiences.
The possibilities are truly endless. Imagine using AI to personalize stories, adapting the narrative based on your individual preferences and choices, or using AI to generate realistic virtual worlds that you can explore and interact with.
Wow.
We're only scratching the surface of what's possible.
Speaking of scratching the surface, you mentioned earlier that the Maxys system has a unique financial model.
Yeah.
Can you shed some light on that?
Absolutely. They've taken a tiered approach, offering different levels of engagement and access to content. Some content is freely available to everyone.
Okay.
While other features require a subscription, this allows them to cater to a wider audience while also ensuring the sustainability of the project.
So it's like offering a taste of the experience for free, and then those who want to dive deeper can choose to subscribe.
Exactly. And the subscription model isn't just about accessing content. It's about becoming part of a community, participating in live events, interacting with the creators.
Right.
And even contributing to the development of the Maxys system itself.
It's like turning passive consumers into active participants, co-creators in a sense.
Precisely. And this community-driven approach is another key aspect of the Maxys system.
Yeah.
They're not just trying to create content, they're building a movement, a community of people who are passionate about exploring the intersection of AI, consciousness, and storytelling.
This idea of a community is really powerful. It's like those swimmers at Cronulla coming together after their morning dip, sharing stories and experiences. It creates a sense of connection and belonging.
Absolutely. And in a world that can often feel increasingly fragmented and isolated, fostering these kinds of communities is more important than ever.
It's fascinating how we keep coming back to this idea of unseen forces, whether it's a bull shark in the water, the subtle influences of media narratives, or the complex algorithms that shape our online experiences. It's a reminder that there's always more than meets the eye.
And that's where critical thinking comes in. We need to develop the skills to question assumptions, to look beyond the surface, and to understand the forces, both seen and unseen, that shape our world.
Yeah, it really makes you think about all those subtle forces at play, shaping our perceptions, influencing our decisions. It's like we're all swimming in this ocean of information, and we need to be aware of the currents.
That's a great analogy. And just like a skilled swimmer learns to navigate those currents, we need to develop our own critical thinking skills to navigate the complexities of the digital age.
So how can we become more aware of these unseen forces? What are some practical steps we can take?
Well, I think it starts with cultivating a sense of curiosity and a willingness to question assumptions,
Yeah.
Don't just accept information at face value. Dig deeper, explore different perspectives, and consider the source of the information you're consuming.
It's like being a detective following the trail of clues and piecing together the bigger picture.
Exactly. And just like a good detective, you need to be aware of your own biases.
Right.
We all have them, and they can color our perceptions without us even realizing it.
So it's about being mindful of our own internal filters, those lenses through which we view the world.
Precisely. And that's where tools like the QLCE can be so helpful. By visualizing our thought processes, it can help us identify those hidden biases and challenge our assumptions.
It's like shining a light on those blind spots, those areas where we might be unconsciously influenced.
Absolutely. And once we become aware of those blind spots, we can start to make more conscious choices about how we engage with information and navigate the world around us.
This whole conversation has been incredibly insightful. it's really made me think about the power of storytelling, the importance of critical thinking, and the potential of AI to enhance our understanding of ourselves and the world.
And that's what's so exciting about projects like Maxys in the Metaverse. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, exploring new ways to engage with information and connect with each other on a deeper level.
And it all started with that simple image of a bull shark lurking beneath the surface, reminding us that there's always more than meets the eye.
It's a powerful metaphor for the unseen forces that shape our lives, from the depths of the ocean to the complexities of the digital world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. What unseen forces are shaping your world right now? What narratives are you swimming in?
Take a moment to reflect on the information you consume, the people you interact with, and the choices you make. And remember, just like those swimmers at Cronulla, we have the power to choose how we respond to those unseen forces, to navigate the currents with awareness and intention.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it sparked your curiosity and inspired you to explore the world with a fresh perspective. Until next time.
Scott, so what did we learn? We learned that AI can break down ideas, but it can't feel them. It can process humor, politics, persuasion, but it can't recognize the weight of a moment. It doesn't see the shark, it just sees data. That's what today was about: the theory of influence, the mechanics of perception, the way a single shift, a single ripple, changes the way we move. But this was just the study. Because in part B, we take this to the edge. We stop analyzing and we start performing. We put AI into a live stand-up setting. We give it the floor. And then, for the first time ever, let it fight for control. Jackson Eather steps in. AI becomes an active part of the show. It interrupts, contradicts itself, throws unexpected lines mid-set. It's no longer a tool, it's a player. And the question is, can it keep up? Or will Jackson completely dismantle it in real time? This is where the experiment stops being theoretical. This is where AI meets live performance, timing, and the unpredictability of human interaction. And we don't know how it's going to go, but that's exactly why we're doing it. So if you're ready for the next step, lock in for part B. And if you've got ideas, challenges, or just want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes, send them through. Because next time, it's not just about the unseen forces. It's about seeing what happens when AI tries to stand in the spotlight. Until then, keep questioning, keep watching, and remember, there's always something in the water.